Okay, for this part, I will teach you just a very small portion of CSS, cascading style sheet. So what is cascading style sheet? You already know about the bootstrap. So when you do with the bootstrap, I think all the styles already available. So web framework provides a style template so everybody can use immediately. So style is related to the CSS or cascade styling sheet, and the basic CSS is related to the body tag. It means every tag in the body we can modify, we can make style, we can change color, we can change the background, and etc. So let's see. I have this kind of data. Let's make a function. Okay. So let's make a function in the views.py. I have this data. Okay, if you know Python, I think you can easily understand this kind of data. Do you know what is this data? What is the data structure for this one? It is a dictionary. Okay, it is a dictionary in the list. So this is one dictionary. So this is the key. This is name, and this is another key. This is population, and then this is also a key. This is country, and this is the value, value, value. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 data, and all 5 data will have the same attributes. So we have 3 attributes: name, population, and country. So I want to put this data into a table. Now, how can we put this data into a table? I would like to make the table css.html. So the name is hub, and then the cities will be the cities. Let's look at the URL. So I will make a new path. So the path is table CSS, and it is the index 2. Okay, index 2. And then, okay, I will make the table css.html. So in this case, I will make it only in the templates. Okay, so I didn't put into the folder. So let's just put in the template. In the template, I make a new file, HTML file, and the name is table CSS. So let's look at the result. The name is table CSS. Okay, now we can see, yeah, if we are a programmer, usually we like the dark color. So this dark color, how we can create this dark color with the CSS. So there is the CSS. Let's look at the explanation. Oh, I didn't put the explanation. So let me just explain from the code. I think you already know about the CSS before. We can do something. For example, in the body, I want to change the background color. And what is this? This is hexadecimal values. Usually we can represent this as a color with RGB, red, green, and blue. So this is a code. In the hexadecimal, we have value from 1 until 9, from 0 until 9, and from A until F. So the maximum is F, 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 F. The minimum is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And yeah, the 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 is the white, and F, 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 F is pure black. So if you change this one, oh, this is, sorry, I'm the opposite. This is pure black. And then F, 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 F. This is pure white. And any numbers in between that one, yeah, of course, it is a number of the colors. Well, just let me get back to the old one. So 2D, 2D, 2D. In PyCharm, you can see directly the color on the left panel here. Okay, so this is the color of this code. And then the H1, I think you remember, this is the heading. The heading will use the color, this one, and the font size and the font family. And the P will use the color white and the font family. So we have the hello world. If it is H1, so it will follow the style from H1. P will follow the style from the P. Now, I have a table. Okay. So in the table, I would like to define first TH. Does you remember what is TH? It is the table header. The table header means this one. This is the header. So I would like to make the name, city name, population, and country. So city name, population, and country. And I use P. It means that this name will follow the style from this. So this is the first row. What about the other row? So the other row, I will use for loop. Okay, I guess you already know the for loop in Python. So you're using the for loop in Python. So the data in the cities, I would like to check for every line. What is the line? Yeah, this is a variable. I just make city. And for every row in between the for, I would like to get from city the attribute name. I would like to get from city the attribute population, and I want to get from the city the attribute country. So this is from the data, name, population, and country. That's why we will get the data and we will print it into the TD. So this is the table data. This is the data, this is the data, and this is the data. It means the first row is the first data, the second row is the second data, the third row is the third data, and so on. Okay, so that's the way to print a data with the dictionary and list. So if you have a data set or a data frame with list dictionary, you can print on the HTML with this way. Okay, using the for loop, then you can easily get the table. Okay, now let's look more on the Bootstrap. Okay. So you already learned the Bootstrap and you just apply to HTML. Now, how if we apply the Bootstrap into the Django? Okay, so previously we have learned the introduction of Bootstrap. So we are trying to leverage the Bootstrap into the Django. So we are trying to combine with extend with include. Okay, how we can include, how can we extend, and so on. So every page will be linked. Okay, now let's create this. Okay, login trial. Did I make this one? Okay. Let's make a login trial. Okay, this is just trial. You cannot access the data because we are not creating any database. So just make the front end. So I'm going to make a login trial folder. Okay, in the templates, let's make a folder login trial, and then let's make two HTML, this and login. So in the templates, I will make a new directory, login trial, and then in this directory, I will make two HTML file, this and login. This is the code for login. Okay, and then this is the code for this. So I'm just giving you this user login, but it is still not working. Okay. So we will check more about this code after we learn about the database. But just let's copy and paste because we need to access this user login in order to show the web. So let's just copy and make it into the views.py, and let's make a new function. And the function is user login. Okay. So after we have the HTML, after we define the function, let's make the path. Okay, I hope that you understand how to put this path. So you can put into the URLs. So let's make just after the table CSS. Okay, so we have a new path which is login, and then we are going to access the user login, and this is the name of the user login. Okay, now let's look at the result. Template does not exist. Ah. Oh, okay, sorry. So the folder name here is login. Okay, so that's why it does not work because the folder name is login trial. Okay. So let me just change this. Yeah, it's up to you. You can change the login trial in the extents, or you can just change the directory name. So then I will just change the directory name. Let me check. So, okay, let's learn about this one. Let's say you have already the files, or you already have the directory, but the name is not correct. So how can you change it? Okay. So there's a way to change files or folders by using refactor. We call this is refactor. And you can see in the refactor, there are some options: rename, move directory, or copy directory. In our case, we want to rename it. So PyCharm has a function. If you want to rename, it means you need to be careful. If the name is already connected to other files, then yeah, it is very dangerous. If you change one, then it will affect other files. That's why PyCharm gives a function whether you want to search it first from other files. If it is connected, then they will give you warning. If nothing related, then yeah, you can just change it. For example, I want to change the login. So I just refactor. Okay, it means that now files are related with the folder. Then it is safe. Okay, now let me check again. Why it doesn't work? Internal errors. The template does not exist. We have the login and login.html, but it does not exist. Okay, now it works. So sometimes we need to restart the server in order to make it work. Okay. So this is the result. Okay. When you want to make this simple login page, you need to have a very long HTML file. Now let's just look at the samples. Let me just go to the page.html. Where is the page? Just close. Okay, this is the page. In the page.html, in the head we have the meta. Yeah, I hope that you already know what is meta. Okay, we learned in the first part of our lecture. So we want to say that this HTML should be adapted to any devices. So if you access the device from the gadget, then the width will be adjusted according to the device width and so on. And then we have the style sheet. So this is a link. This is CSS from the Bootstrap. So we just want to use the Bootstrap CSS. And then yeah, we have the body. In the body, we use the class override. So the class override means something inside of the Bootstrap. So in this case, of course, you need to understand by yourself. You can just look from the examples, because sometimes the examples will explain what is the meaning by this one. So this is one of the class in the Bootstrap. And then, yeah, we want to use the navigation. Okay. So the navigation, it used the navbar in first. So this is the class in the Bootstrap as well. So if you use this class, the navigation that you see in the Chrome, yeah, it becomes fancy. Okay, this is the navigation. And then, yeah, it shows the container. So in the container, this is one container. It is also from the Bootstrap. We want to define for the header. So here is the header. So it define the button. What is the button that we want to click? Okay. So this is the toggle navigation. We have the name, which is my Django app. So if you look at the this one, so this is button. So you can access this one, and this is an A. A is a kind of href or link. So if you click that one, then you need to specify where do you want to go. Okay, so now it is blank, so nowhere to go. And then the second is login. You can see the navigation is on the right. Okay. If there is no specification, then it will follow the rule of programming from the left to the right. So if you specify some navigation bar, let's say this is the navigation will be on the right, then you can see the login button is on the right. So that's the Bootstrap definition based on the class. And then we want to access login. So this is the navigation, or this is the top of the web. Next, I would like to define the content. What is the content? So the content will be in this section, and the content will be in the container of this div. So the container will have this content, and the content will be based on the login.html, because the login.html extends the base.html from the folder login. And now let's look at the content. What is the content here? So here it is a container. Okay. Usually when we use the Bootstrap class in the div, we need to make it as a container. And then we have the form. Okay, I hope that you already know form. We learned from the first section. So we are going to access this user login, URL, user login. Do you still remember? Okay. So we are going to access the urls.py. So we are going to access the user login. Method post. So we are still not using this one because we cannot connect to the database. So this CSRF token, I will explain maybe later, okay, not today. This is to connect to the database. And yeah, the data here, yeah, if any error message, it will show danger. What is danger? So let's look at later. So if error message occurs, so it means, let's say if you input the wrong name, then you will show something in the danger. What is danger? We will look at later. And then this is another div, and this is to put the user. Okay, so this is input. Input is something that you need to input, and the value is blank. The type is text, so you need to input string. And the variable name is username. The next is password. So it is also input. The type is password. It means if you type something, it will be in the start, so we cannot see the result. And then this is login type submit. It means if you want to check whether the user and the password match with the database or not, then we will go to this login function. So it should go to register. So I have not provided the register, so we cannot run this one. Okay. So this is only the page. Oh. Okay, so if you type the user, okay, the password, then it is like this one. User is string, password, it will be closed with the stuff. Okay, then the last one is just closing the block. Okay. So this is one of example about the login page. Of course, you can design by your own later. If you do with your team project, you can make by your own login page. So in the Bootstrap, we can define the span. The span in the Bootstrap, they specify 12 units. So the span is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you have 12 units, it means the size will be this size in your web. The size will be this size in your web. So you can define how many span do you want in your web. If you specify 4, this will be the size. So you can specify 4 on the left, 4 on the middle, and 4 on the right. Or you can specify 4 on the left and 8 on the right. Or you can specify 6 on the left, 6 on the right. So the total should be 12. Okay, so that's the basic of the Bootstrap. So if you look at the code, yes, can you see 8? So this 8 means we want to make the size of it. So we have the 8 span. So this is the 8 span. Just making a slight changing on this one. Let's say I'm changing to 6. Okay. Just changing this one. The size is changing. Okay, let me show you again. If I change this one to 8, so it is longer. Okay. Yeah, you can define this one. Let's say you want to have 12. Of course, it is the full page. Yeah, so it exceeds. Okay, so that's the definition of the name. And then what is MD? So usually we will do a lot of things with table. Okay, so I will just explain about the table case. What is MD? So in order to specify the column width, okay, we need to specify the grid class and the span for the column. So the Bootstrap has 4 classes. First is XS. So if it is XS, then it is extra small. It is usually for phones. SM is small. Usually it is for tablets. MD is medium. Usually it is for the typical desktops or laptops. And LG, it is large for larger desktop. If you look at the code, MD, it means medium. So it is just for the common desktop. because you already specify this as the width can be adaptive to the device width, then of course the bootstrap will adjust according to the device width. Okay, so this is MD, so this is the medium. So you can see MD, MD, MD. So it refers to the mid size, the medium size. So if you want to make a 3 columns, then you can make a row, and then you can make medium 4, medium 4, medium 4. So the total is. And in the bootstrap, you can specify the color and background. So the color and background means you can specify. You don't need to mention the color. Let's say I want to have the color blue. I want to have the color yellow. But instead of using the colors, we call the class. So the class in Bootstrap, we have the primary, success, info, warning, and danger. If it is primary, it will be in the blue. If it is secondary, it will be in the green. If it is success, it will be green. If danger, it will be red. If it is warning, it will be yellow. If it is info, it will be like this light blue. If it is light, so it will be in the white color like this one. And if it is dark, it will be like this. So this is not only for the button. If it is button, then it will specify btn. If you are going to change your background, then you will use bg. And it can be in any tag. Okay, so this is the benefit of the Bootstrap. For example, this login. In this login, we want to use the class btn, which is button, and then the btn success. So the color will be green, okay, if it is success. Why you cannot do this? Okay, so this one is green. So if you change to primary, that's changed to primary. If you change to primary directly, it is blue. Okay. So you don't need to specify any color. Just call the class name and you can use it in your mind. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay. So this time, let's make how to create a table with Bootstrap. So previously, we just create a table with the CSS. Okay. Now I'm going to create this kind of table. Okay. Actually, the function is similar with the previous one. Okay, but let me just have this one again. Okay. So you can have more familiarity with the things. Actually, it's the same with the index too, but let me just make it separate function. Let me make a separate function because we are going to access another HTML file. So in this hello table, so this is index 3. The data is the same with the previous one. It is the city and the population and the country. And then let's define the pet. Let's say I just define the pet number 7. So it is index 3. And then let's make the hello table. And let's put the hello table in the folder templates. Let's make the hello table. Okay. So let's see how we can do this one. I'm making the 7. Then you will see this website has a header. Okay. And then this is the table. So which is better? Are you okay with the CSS table previously or this one? This one is more fancy. So you create your CSS, you need to modify the color, and then you need to set up some font and so on. But with the Bootstrap, you just call the function, you just think what are the classes that you need, and then apply it. Okay. So here, let's look at the code. The hello table extend the login base.html. So when I put this hello table, when I put hello table in this location, it doesn't matter. Okay. Because I can access the base.html in anywhere. So I can just call the folder. I can just call the directory. In this case, the directory is in the login. So I just declare that please access the folder login and then just use the base.html for the header. And then the content will be this one. So the content will be the table. So this is the table. I think you already know. This is the header. And this is the data. Okay. And we just call the bootstrap. So this is the bootstrap. And in the bootstrap, they have more classes. They have more files related to data tables. So I'm using the data tables here. So here I use the data tables.js. It means if you understand some plugin in the JS or some plugin in the CSS, just use it. So you don't need to design, you don't need to modify by yourself. Just use the existing classes. Nowadays, there are so many plugins like this one. If you know about React or some other plugin framework, so you just reuse it by calling this one. So in this case, I'm using the data tables. And when I try to execute the data table, I need to call the function. So this is the function. So I'm just putting this example. This example is located in this ID table. So this table, which is using the ID example, will use the data table from this bootstrap. Okay. So this data table is from bootstrap, and this data table also related with the data table here. So every time you call the CDN, you need to check what are the proper plugin for your web. In this case, I'm using the data table, and this data table will be useful for the table. So there can be a lot of plugin. For example, if you want to use the plugin for making form, okay, so there is also another plugin for only forms. Or if you want to make a plugin for making an e-commerce website, so there's a plugin for that. So there are so many plugins these days, so you can just reuse it. Okay, so this is the result. Now, let's try to have a more complicated bootstrap example. So this is the result after you copy and paste all the code. So let's do step by step. Now it becomes more complex. Okay. So last week we start with very small, and now we have a lot of HTML files. I will create a new folder, block 3. And then in the block 3, I will have this file, this HTML file. Okay, so let's see. In the block 3, okay, let me create a new folder, directory, oh, sorry, block 3. And then in the block 3, I need this home block contact data. So I need this home contact data, block, and info. Sorry, this is not add info, but just info. So I have block, info. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So for every files, let's just copy and paste. We will look later. So the base.html. The first is base.html, and then the second is home.html. And then next is block.html. And then next is contact.html. And then next is info.html. And then next is, okay, contact. Oh, do I have contact? Okay. So I have contact, and I will make contact in the views.py. So this is a function contact. So if you want to contact, then you can contact me, for example. So in the views.py, I will make a new function contact. So this contact will connect to the contact.html, and then I will make another function, home tree and block tree. So if it is home tree, then I will go to the home.html. If I go to the block tree, I will go to block.html in the folder block tree. So I will add this one in the view. And then I will have index 4. So this index 4 will connect to the block tree data.html. So I make another index 4. So I define this one. Okay. So I need to define the path in the urls.py. So first create the HTML and then next define the function in the views.py and then last make the URL. Oh, I guess this one can delete this. Okay, let's see. What is the result? Oh, wait a moment. Home tree. So this is home tree. So this is your web page. If you are in a home, you will see this one. Now, if you go to blog, okay, you will see this one. If you go to contact, okay, you can contact what are the feedback for this one. Okay, so it is not working. If you go to data, oh, sorry, I don't find the data. Sorry, I don't have the data.html. Okay, actually, I want to access to the data and then put the same as this one. Oh, so let's just use the previous one. Okay, let's just use this hello table.html as the data. I will use this one as the data, but I will not use the login base.html. For the base, I would like to use the block tree. Okay, I will use the block tree. Okay, so the extent will be from the block tree in the base.html. So this is the data.html. Okay, so this is the data. Okay. So if you go to home, you will see this one. If you go to blog, you will see this one. If you go to contact, you will see this one. And if you go to the data, you will see this one. Okay, so now you can make the web. You can make the HTML in Genuine. Okay. I think you know everything from the book. Okay. So in the home, yeah. So now you already know everything. This is home and then this is contact. Okay, so you can look at the code. Okay. And then this is the data that we just have. And this is the block. Okay, so this is the column that I mentioned to you. So if we have the bootstrap, we can consider with 12 span. So if we want to make it 3 columns, so just make it 4, 4, and 4. info. What is info? If you go to the base.html, so the blog title, the blog title is still just using a text. But for the footer, I'm going to use include. What is include? So in this section, I would like to use info.html in the folder blog2. Then whenever you change this one, this is written at top. So let's say okay, Huff has been updated. Previously we have only Seoul and Yongin. Now it has also a branch in Incheon. So I update the info. It means you just need to change one file and it will affect to every of this file. Okay, so you don't need to update every files because you just include one file in the base and every files that has that info will follow the changes. And this is the URL. If we go to blog, then I will just blog 3. If I go to contact, I will use the contact 2. If I want to connect to the data, I will use this data. Okay. And then if I want to go to home, then I will just call the home 3 URL. Okay. Okay, everything is okay. Yep. So we learn about the template filters. We learn about the inheritance. So we learn many things about include and extend. So you also learn how to leverage CSS, bootstraps. Of course, if you want to make your own CSS, it's fine, but it is more time. So you can use bootstrap, and I also give you an example how to leverage bootstrap with everything in one piece. Okay, okay, let's have a break. Okay, I will continue after the break.